Hi, I'm Eliane Ubeli-Joro. I'm the Global Hub Director for Future Earth in Canada and the Executive Director for Sustainability in the Digital Age.
Hi, I am Mehrdad Hariri, the founder and CEO of the Canadian Science Policy Centre.
We're here to tell you about an exciting new project called Canada's Sustainable Future, a digital action plan. This project will roll out as a national online dialogue series to gather brilliant ideas from scientists, Indigenous communities, innovators, policymakers, and everyone living in Canada.
This will be an exciting endeavor to start a national conversation and foster discussions with diverse participants in all regions of Canada. But first, Eliane, for those who may not know, please tell us about your organization, Future Earth, and the Sustainability in the Digital Age initiative.
Thank you, Mehrdad. So Future Earth is a global research network developing knowledge and tools that governments, communities, and the private sectors need to meet the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. These 17 goals, also known as the SDGs, were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a global call to action to protect the planet, end poverty, and ensure everyone enjoys peace and prosperity by 2030. Some examples of the Sustainable Development Goals are no poverty, zero hunger, clean water, climate action, and reduced inequalities. These goals are universal and apply to all peoples and nations. For the Sustainability in the Digital Age initiative, it specifically explores how digital innovation could help achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. In our context, digital innovation means more than new technology like artificial intelligence. We are referring to how the digital revolution influences everyday life and behavior. Things like the ability to communicate instantly on the global scale, or the potential for corporate or government transparency afforded by big data. Of course, the other side of the coin is to understand that these same digital innovations present challenges for equity, privacy, and access, as we will explore in our National Dialogue series. But Mehrdad, before we get into the details, what can you tell us about the Canadian Science Policy Centre and why the Centre wanted to partner with us on this virtual project?
Well, the Canadian Science Policy Centre is a non-profit, non-partisan, and non-advocate organization. Our guiding vision is to create a strong, inclusive, and effective science policy community that contributes to the well-being of people in Canada. We operate as an inclusive hub for connectivity, convening, capacity building, and catalyzing research in support of effective science policy. And we are so pleased to be partnering with Future Earth and Sustainability in the Digital Age to host this National Dialogue series. We see this as an incredible opportunity to crowdsource innovative sustainability solutions for effective science and innovation policy. One of the main CSPC projects is the annual Science Policy Conference that takes place in November. This year's theme is Building Forward Better. And at this year's conference, we will also host a half-a-day symposium to mark the culmination of the National Dialogue series. Select participants from previously held series will be invited to present the knowledge and key findings developed during the interactive sessions to the conference delegates. This will ensure a highly visible national platform for knowledge dissemination and key recommendations to be communicated to policymakers and science and innovation stakeholders. Now, Eliane, please tell us more about the National Dialogue series and what we hope to accomplish.
So Mehrdad, just wanted to say, I love the theme of building forward better for your CSPC conference. As I mentioned, the project is called Canada's Sustainable Future, a Digital Action Plan. These national dialogues taking place in September and October will look at how digital innovations can help Canada achieve the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. And it is important to note that the Government of Canada has provided funding for this National Dialogue series through their Sustainable Development Goals funding program. Their program, Moving Forward Together, Canada's 2030 Agenda National Strategy, is an important milestone in continuing to implement and advance the 2030 Agenda. It supports progress on the Sustainable Development Goals in Canada and abroad. So the aim of the virtual series is to identify both the challenges and opportunities presented when we engage with digital technology for sustainable targets. For example, if we want to achieve quality education for all, which is Sustainable Development Goal number 4, we could ask, how is digital innovation either helping or hindering Canada from reaching this target? With the knowledge we gather from posing these types of questions to a national audience, we can provide recommendations for policymakers, nonprofits, private sector, and science stakeholders to create together a sustainable future for everyone in Canada. Of course, given the broad mandate of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the limited time we have, we've narrowed down the focus of the dialogue series to 3 key topic areas that we believe have the greatest capacity to facilitate real change in Canada. These themes were identified by reviewing scientific literature and ministerial mandate letters. So practically speaking, Mehrdad, what can participants expect while attending the online dialogue series?
Well, participants can expect to interact with different generations, different cultures, different perspectives through an engaging combination of virtual presentations, keynote speeches, participatory breakout sessions, and something really exciting called Thought Exchange. Thought Exchange is a diverse online discussion forum where participants can safely and anonymously provide input on key questions related to the National Dialogue Series themes. And the 3 key themes we have chosen to explore are, number 1, digital transformation to scale public awareness for sustainability. Number 2, enabling cross-sectoral partnership to drive sustainable innovation. And number 3, Indigenous science and knowledge driving transformative solutions. These topics were selected to help guide discussions and provide a framework for creating actionable policy. We want people to really engage with these themes and present their ideas and perspectives on them. We are eager to hear from all participants who can contribute their unique expertise with respect to key challenges and opportunities in each of these areas. In fact, we are so eager to hear from everyone. We are launching our first Thought Exchange in September and October. We will hold 3 online events organized around each of these themes and exchanges. Each event will take place over 2 days via Zoom. Day 1 will consist of a 2-hour public dialogue for everyone who wishes to participate. Day 2 will be an invite-only 2-hour consultation sessions. Throughout mix of virtual exchanges and dialogues with participants from all regions of Canada, we hope to create a truly collaborative sustainability knowledge base. This knowledge base will provide insights to guide recommendations to policymakers as well as stakeholders across sectors who can take actions on innovative solutions. Now, it is important to mention that we understand people are living through a very difficult time right now. While so many are faced with immediate challenges and demands on their communities. Elian, could you tell us, why should people make space to attend these online national dialogues? Why does it matter, and how can it help to find solutions to some of the issues Canada is facing as a nation?
We believe the best way to overcome difficult challenges is to face them together. That's what the Sustainability Development Goals are all about. They provide some guidance on how to reduce inequality and change unsustainable practices around the world. But we understand a lot of people in Canada don't know anything about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We believe that by facilitating national dialogues around these issues, we can come together and use this framework to push for positive change and accelerate positive change. People in Canada are already facing the devastating social and economic effects of climate change. From extreme, record-breaking heat in the Pacific Northwest, to melting ice caps and permafrost in the north, to negative impacts of fires, air pollution, shifting precipitation patterns, all overlaid on the pandemic and rising inequality. This is time for us to come together. Now is the time for concrete action and collective awareness on sustainability solutions. These dialogues are about actions, solutions created by working together, and about the creation of new policies, standards, and ways forward. We must all address the digital elephant in the room. Digital technologies are essential for many, especially youth, to participate in social, economic, and governance systems. But for other groups, technology presents an obstacle to participating in some aspects of new societal norms. In the digital age, it is essential for us to learn collectively how to harness the power of data and technologies to create positive changes in governments, the private sector, and civil society. Sharing knowledge across regional, cultural, and professional communities can reinforce shared values, shape new norms, and strengthen our capabilities to become a more sustainable society. Canada has less than 10 years to achieve all the Sustainable Development Goals that it has committed to as part of the Federal Sustainable Development Strategy by 2030. For Canada to reach these important targets within this timeframe, we must unlock the power of digital technologies to accelerate progress and ensure that nobody is left behind, and that all are included in ways that they can become not only users, but producers of these new digital technologies. We must foster cross-sectoral and interdisciplinary collaborations that merge digital innovations with sustainability science and increase collective awareness at this interface. And as we work at this interface, we also must ensure that we're accelerating gender equity in terms of capacity for participation at that interface of digitalization and sustainability. And most importantly, to design and implement effective solutions across Canada, we need to hear from all the different people who call Canada home. So please, join us for the National Dialogue Series. We want to know what you think.
And so I think the information will be shared soon to the public by Future Earth and CSBC through various channels, newsletters, and social media. So please stay tuned for more information, and we would love your contribution and engagement.